Attensity is broadly speaking, in the space of semantic technologies, particularly as applied to dealing with unstructured data. We do a lot in the area of customer experience, for example, and work in some other areas as well. We really believe that sentiment analysis and all these ways of characterizing text are part of a larger process, and so our application stack really supports quite a number of activities. We broadly call this the LARA methodology, standing for listen, analyze, relate, and act. Listen means both monitoring and ingesting different sources of content, whether it's social media, tweets, targeted websites, etc., or internal data that a customer has, comments that customers or that call center agents log with customer interactions, support emails coming in from customers. All of these are fodder for analysis because they contain largely text and aren't easily classified by traditional kind of BI systems because they don't lend themselves in their native form to rows and columns. So for us, sentiment is much more than polarity. It's what customers are thinking about and why. So how do customers feel? Why do they feel the way they do? Are there issues that I'm getting early warning on, customers telling me about? Are there opportunities I'm missing? It's who, what, when, where, why. And how Attensity does this is through a means we call exhaustive extraction, which is really to transform text from all these different sources into what we often call first-person intelligence. Let the customer tell you what they need to tell you. And this means that you need to be able to analyze not just the words they use, but the other clues in the text, what we'll refer to as voice tags, things like intention, negation, questions, if-then statements, wishes, suggestions, etc. As distinguished from a lot of techniques that employ classification or search-based techniques, those presuppose that you basically have to inform the system what you're looking for. So you've got to give it some keywords and establish some categories that you want to match things into based on how text occurs. And how we analyze text is we start with the text and let it tell the story. So we send text in without pre-definition of what you're looking for, and then pull out all these linguistic attributes in the text, named entities, entity relationships, other complex structures that we'll spend a little bit of time on, sentiment, again, compliments, suggestions, etc., that are phrased in different ways, pull them out, and put them into rows and columns so that you can count them and analyze them. And so how do we do this? Like a lot of other systems have talked about, we actually do a full linguistic parse. We have actually a bag of tricks in our NLP kit, but the core of the voice of the customer or the sentiment analysis is to be able to parse the text and extract triples, actually tuples, because we can do doubles and other sorts of structures as well, but really triples are a proxy for who did what to whom, subject, predicate, object. And we've been doing this for 10 years. We have a lot of patents in this area. And the key to this is not just diagramming like you did in high school English, or maybe you did it in junior high, of subject, verb, object. But we're looking for these kind of voice tags. This is one thing that makes our system unique. These tags that indicate some semantic context, whether it's a question, a conditional, intent, etc., negation. And I'll just run to a quick, this is part of a larger system, but I wanted to show a demo because we did something for Apple, who's one of our customers. And let me just switch this over.
What's the time's up?
Well, I gotta be fair, you're out of time.
Okay. Well, I'll show you this, anybody who wants to see this live. We did an analysis of tweets about the iPad, and I've got it actually running on the thing. So.
Yeah, I'm sure Ian, and again, anyone else who wants to do a demo, I'm sorry, we